Or if you built a new house, having built the house, and maybe you had it finished on Monday, well, you wouldn't go in, or you wait for Friday. Otherwise, you're supposed to not have very good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah. So unlucky to move in on Friday. Right? Just to be there. And people still do that.
Moving house, then you could never move house if you were going to a new house or a different home. You'd have to go on a Friday. Friday was a lucky day to move. Wouldn't move any other day. And even if you heard tell of anyone else they got a new house and moving into it, they didn't move on Friday, say, oh God, how did they move today? They should have left it till Friday or gone to Friday because it's lucky.
Even if you're moving into a shop or starting up a shop, always start opening for Friday.
Yeah, that
was you'd look then.
That's true, yeah.
There was some years ago there was some funny sayings, but I mean, a lot of them could come true.
I'll tell you another thing, I had to go to confession after this one. I know they can do anything. You couldn't meat on a Friday, not even a sausage.
No.
So this day, I was expected at the time. So maybe I was excused then. But anyway, this day I took a awful fad for sausage, and I ate a couple of sausages on a Friday. I couldn't wait till I got to confession to tell him me. He would have to give me absolution. Now, Lord mercy.
Well, it's not the present priest anyway, so it's...
Oh, they're not the present priest now?
Oh, God, no.
I remember years ago, now I was raised with a granny and grandfather, and I remember years ago, I was Saturday evening, the potatoes and all to be washed for Sunday. They would not wash potatoes for Sunday morning or Sunday for a dinner. It'd have to be done on the Saturday evening. You never work on a Sunday. Never, ever, ever.
But there was a parish priest here, Father Killian, you know Father Killian? See, at that years ago, if you were caught out in the bog or couldn't have ran of a Sunday, you were nearly banned from the parish. But anyway, he used to go around on horseback. There was told that Jerry Hurley was one of them, and another lad was out there, they were out in the bog foot, and he went out to them on the horseback, and he said to them, no, lads, says he, you know yourselves, you're not supposed to be here today. It's the Sabbath day, Sunday. It's for a rest day. Yeah. And he said, your man done nothing, and he took up the slate. They were cutting turf. And said, if you don't get out of here, says we'll take that head off you. Well, now Father Killian said to them, see, if you, Jerry and whatever the name is, in time to come, it won't be everyone after me. 2 years later, both of them lost their legs. They could never walk again. That's the truth now. That's not a fairy story.
No one ever emptied out the ashes on a Monday.
On a Monday?
Did you?
No, I never heard of that one, no.
No one ever emptied out the... Of course, you could have me as well. No, did you ever hear that before? Not I told it to you today. And I thought it'd be get out.
You would never throw out ashes on a Monday because the poor souls were back visiting on the Sunday, and you never worked on a Sunday. And when they were going back, they used to go back on a Monday, right? And if you threw out the ashes would be only flying in the face of the poor souls. It was always said the crows built on the 1st of March, but the crows don't build on a Sunday. If it was the 1st of March, they'd wait until Monday.
How did they know it's Monday?
I don't know, but that's it.
That's the story.
You'd never see a crow with a twig on a Sunday. No. All was 1st of March on Monday, but never on a Sunday, no.
This is always done in our place, the 1st Monday in August. And if you went out on the road and you found money on the road, you'd find thousands for that week, and it did happen. On the 1st Monday in August.
Yeah.
When a tooth fall out now, the fairy gives the money. Doing the pin it the next morning. But when I was a child, if your tooth fell out, you blessed yourself 3 times with the tooth in your hand, and then you threw it over your right shoulder. I went around looking and see, could I find it anywhere? So I wouldn't beg it far enough away.
That if you meet a magpie on the road, they said if she flies to the right, you're in luck. If she flies to the left, you're in bad luck. And if you meet them, greet them, and turn the money in your pocket. Just give it a little shake, and everything goes all right. I don't know how true it is.
Never heard that one.
Never heard that one.
No.
No.
Well, just if you go out and you see the new moon and admiring and everything, and if you have money, you go in and put money into your pocket and turn it around, rattle it around in your pocket for luck. Yeah.
Like New Year's Eve, you go out the back door and you're saying goodbye to the old year and you're coming in the front door to welcome in the new year. And you do it 3 times for luck.
That'd be at 12 o'clock at midnight. Yeah.
Well, after 12 o'clock you shouldn't throw dirty water out of a bowl or anything. Without saying hug 'em, tug 'em, dirty water and blessing yourself after it.
And sure, I'm going to bed now, I throw holy water, I bless myself. And Mammy always said, and my daddy always said, he was a great man to always sprinkle holy water. Bless yourself, sprinkle it at the door, at the back door, the front door before you go to bed, and it keeps away all evil when you're sleeping.
Power in holy water.
Yeah, you sprinkle your door.
If you wanted to wash out your holy water font, and all sediment would have collected in the bottom of it after a long time, after a while, like you know. So you took it down, of course, and you put a little drop of water in it and you washed it around with your finger because it wasn't too big. But you didn't throw it into the sink or into the bucket, you threw it into the fire because it was the holy water. Anything that was blessed was burnt.
In holy water.
Yeah, anything that was blessed singly was burnt. First of all, when you now wash your face inside, you go down to the grass.
Yeah.
And you wash all your face with the dew and let it dry on. Right. That's supposed
And
to
your
and it never
arms and
gets
your
sunburned,
legs
I tell
and your feet and everything was washed in the dew with the grass.
You used to hear for a good complexion, you go out and wash your face in the dew, that's one, and the May morning, yes.
Yeah, the May morning dew.
Wash your face with the dew on the grass, whatever, yeah.
And your skin would always be good.
Good.
Yeah, it always be good.
So that's when you did?
I did.
Well, it's only what we used to hear too as well, that to walk in the May dew for corns or bunions. Or even an old donkey that had laminitis, you let him out in the bog for a week or a fortnight, and it used to cure him.
If you get married in May, you'll rue the day. And that's how it happened. Because the first man and the woman that first put in for a divorce, they were married in May.
Yeah, married. I never ruled the day. I was 56
Never.
years married to the one man.
Yeah.
Before a wedding now, when we get married in the family or that, you'd always, we might have a good day for the wedding, of course, and you'd be out to Child of Prague for the night before. And this was you'd have a fine day now when you put her out the night before. I remember my daughter getting married and I forgot to pour her out and I woke up in the middle of the night. Oh Lord, I said I never about to start but I got up and I poured out. And she had a grand day. Lovely day.
You met a red-haired woman on the road early in the morning, it's a class of bad luck. There was an old farmer up beside us, he used to be going, and if you met a red-haired woman, he turned around and bring home his cattle, you wouldn't sell them. Mr. Chisel, yeah.
We were told never to let a red-haired woman in on New Year's Day. It was bad luck. And I often remember it. I often stood outside the door talking to them. Rather than let them into the house, did you not?
No.
No, that's... I often heard that now, and I did it.
If there was a person in the neighbourhood that had the name of a bit of evilism in them, that if they came near the place when there was a cow on for calving, or even if they were churning, that the butter wouldn't for them and the churn for them, like, you know what I mean? That was all. Maybe it was something that it had happened whether she came or not, but that's what they used to put it down to anyway.
My grandmother had a little stool and she used to always, a little three-legged stool, she'd go off and leave in the middle of the cow. And we always called the cow Nancy. One particular cow was called Nancy. And she'd kneel down and she'd get the bucket, she'd tilt the bucket between her knees. And she'd milk. And when she'd have milk in, she'd get her tongue. And with her tongue, you know the high bone that's sticking up in the back, cow's back. She'd always have the tongue just on the top of the froth of the milk and put the side in the grass and she'd say, God bless you, Nancy. Every time she meant, she'd always say, God bless you, Nancy.
My neighbour, he believes in holy water, and he never sows anything without blessing. I think he goes to the four corners of the field. You know, great believer in holy water.
Easter Monday, wasn't it? Yeah. Monday, Tuesday, Monday was the 3 rogation days. The holy water would be blessed on the Sunday. You'd bring it home from the church, fill your bottle and go out in the field with it and go to the 4 corners and sprinkle it in each corner. Bless yourself then, that's it. Go to the next field, do the same.
They used to go down to St. Kieran's grave and they used to bring back a little compliment of soil from the grave and put it in the 4 corners of the field that the wereworm was active in, and it used to exterminate him. Yes, yeah, not right.
It was, yeah, that's what they believed in it. Like.
Yeah, they believed in it.
No, but I remember when I was young now too, that when the holly go up, you couldn't touch it for the 12 days. I see them now and they're putting it up a month before Christmas and they have it down before Christmas is over. Well, you never went near the holly for the 12 days and you never took it down. But one time I was at home and I was sweeping the floor and a bit of holly fell down. It was on the floor. And there was a big grate that time and fire. There was no ranges or stoves or nothing. And I picked up the piece of holly and I threw it into the fire. My grandmother, I never slept for a whole month. You'll burn in the lower pit of hell. Your life won't be worth living. You don't know what you've done, Katie, she says to me. And I said, what? You burnt the holly before? And I said, I didn't know. Well, that's a mortal sin and you'll rot. Well, Lord God, such a lectures I got. And I never, honest to God, I never slept. I thought the devil was coming for me. I was afraid to sleep.
And I'll tell you another lucky thing as well. You often heard of that. Getting the straw out of the crib. You're supposed to win money.
Yes,
the day the crib, Christmas Day, the crib is put up, before it's taken away, you pick 3 little pieces, and you stick them together, make a cross, and it's to keep away all sickness and all harm. Yeah. And I think I have this year's straw. In my handbag somewhere.
You could have that.
I always get a bit of it.
I know I was lucky anyway to get the straw.
Yeah.
If you were out in the bog with saying, and there'd be headers and everything like that, and one minute it'd be smooth as everything we got. Next this bush would come, and they say that was the fairies crossing across.
Yeah. That's fairy crossing. Yeah, that's right.
Fairy crossing the heather.
And
you're never supposed to cross the path again. Yeah. It's the dangers. Mm. You never could go over that where you seen the heather moving. No, that was an army of fairies, used to call it.
Yeah, an army
across.
You have to say something when you see a fairy glass.
Godspeed all travellers.
Aye, Godspeed all travellers.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the travellers are the travellers themselves are the fairies, and they have a speed up. So you just say Godspeed all travellers.
Bless yourself and say Godspeed all travellers.
Yeah, bless yourself. And
if you could stand up again, it will hit you, but it take you.
Willie the Wisp now, he'd lead you astray. He'd come in the form of a light, and you're following the light. Now that time there was no lights or anything along the roads, everything was completely pitch dark. And you follow the light and he'd lead you astray and you'd have to stay wherever you were all night, wherever he'd lead you to. The next morning till it get bright till you see where you were. I often heard tell of Willie the Wisp, it did indeed.
It's a cock crows 3 times.
That was when our dog was dying, James.
What?
That was when...
No, but that's what they were saying. If you hear a cock 3 times. Remember, our Lord heard that there's a person on the way out, them dying. Oh yeah, there's some terrible yarns years ago. Of course, we were all so innocent. We thought took it in. We're really... But nowadays, the young people wouldn't swallow things like that.
Oh, they're too cute now.
Oh, they're too cute.
If a cock come into the house and crowed, you see, it's bad luck.
Bad luck, I think.
And what else in?
And
very late at night.
Yeah, that's it. It's something, it's a sign of a death.
And if a robin comes in the window, it's a sign of a death.
Sign of a death, yeah.
And that does happen. And that was a wild song. Or it's like a robin, if a robin comes into the house. Some people go as mad when a robin. I don't, I counted fish rock. I won't believe it because I had a pet robin that used to come in and I'd say the cat must have got at him. He's gone anyway and I used to regularly be outside the door waiting for me to bring out something. And the next thing he started coming in, they said, that's not lucky. My mother died the night the robin came into our house. And I said, that's only fish rocks.
Yeah, they said it's a sign of death if the robin
if the robin comes in. I could never understand that. To this day, I can't.
Do you ever stop the clock when anyone dies? When anyone had died in the house, the clock was stopped. No. You ever hear that one?
And what was happened to her?
I don't know. No. And the clock stopped the clock.
I
remember my grandmother.
Yeah.
When she died.
God bless her.
Huh?
I say God bless her.
Yeah, if you heard the banshee in the morning, there was a death in the
banshee cried 3 times at her door, and then someone died.
That's right, yeah. It banged 3 times, that's right. Well, that was always the yarn down the year. So you'd never hear anything about banshees nowadays. You'd never hear them even mentioned, would you know?
But down where my mammy came from, the lads were always playing pitch and toss, money, and they heard the banshee a good bit away. But there was one lad, he was hardy and he didn't care like where the night fell on, and he kept playing away. But he heard around and he said, oh lad, and he imitated the banshee. And the next thing she was beside his foot, sitting beside him, he looked round and seen her with a big long head of hair. He shouldn't have imitated her.
I suppose there were out years ago, or maybe probably certain families.
Carried a comb and combed her hair, big head of hair down her back.
I heard the banshee. A small little white woman. She used to cry some families.
That's right.
Did you hear that?
I did.
And the cannons. Mrs. Cannon died. I was only after going to Coolfin at the time. I was a Mrs. Cannon died, and she used to cry the cannons. And when that night, I go out and listen to see could I hear her to cross the field.
That's right.
You know, to cross the field. And you could hear the mournful roar. A little white woman with long white hair.
That's it.
Is that right?
Heard that, yeah.
No. That's all I have now.
I have a bit of a story about an uncle of mine. He said he'd seen fairies, I don't know what he had known, just outside the town, near Carrick. He said he was young one time, when he was young, and going to school, and all these little men came down, rolling down the hill. On Carrick Hill, they call it.
Yes, I know.
And he said every year from then on, he believes it completely. He said no one take from me, he did see them. And whether he did or not, no one ever could find it. But every year before he died, he always come down to Edenderry and go to the same place to see could he see any of them again.
The tree in the middle of the field, that's the fairy tree they call it.
Yeah,
you're not to cut that
lone
down.
tree.
Yeah, you never cut it down. Because always something happens to you, right?
Yeah, you never cut that.
Yeah, this
tree.
is what we were told.
No, you never take a fort out of the place. Because I know a family that they got the farm and they took the fort out of the field.
Yeah.
And they never had an hour's look after.
So
Not an hour's look after. And the man that owned that farm and fort and the whole lot, he wouldn't cut a plant in it.
No.
The white thorn bush is supposed to be very unlucky, to touch it even. And if you touch a white thorn bush, you never look for the rest of your days. It can happen, and I suppose that it does happen. We mightn't think it, but when you look back and hear stories from people, you have to believe them. That kind of way. Definitely.
Well, but you've heard is the truth now.
Yeah.
And God bless
yes.
you.
I get stiff when I sit down.
Oh, I don't be able to get up.
That was great. Now, thanks very much.